I'm Hallie Hart, and this is the Road Since Omaha podcast. We're going to be taking a look at the Oklahoma State baseball team's path since its College World Series appearance in 2016. Since then, it's been a little bit of an up and down road for the Cowboys. They had kind of an off season last year, but then they somehow clinched the Big 12 tournament in 2017. So now in 2018, they've got a new team, an improved team, and the question is, could there be a chance for the Cowboys to go back to Omaha this year? We'll have to see. They've still got some of the season left, including a non conference series against Iowa this weekend. But we're going to take a look at how the Cowboy baseball team has improved from last season to this season, and kind of how the Bedlam series, when the Cowboys swept OU, how that exemplified their improvements from the 2017 season to this 2018 season. And then finally, we're going to look at how a big announcement for the baseball program this season might be fueling its success, and if the Cowboys really could have a chance to make the return to Omaha. They had a 30-27 record in the 2017 season last year, so it was a winning record, but pretty close. They did have All-American Garrett McCain on their team, and of course that Big 12 tournament victory, so they had some strong moments, but it was not the same team they had in 2016. That was the first time the Cowboys had made the College World Series in a decade. Then, fast forward to 2017, toward the end of the regular season, the question people were asking was, will the Cowboys even make the postseason? One big reason for that was, after they appeared in the College World Series, 11 Oklahoma State players were taken in the MLB draft. So that includes some seniors who graduated and also just some juniors who decided to go ahead and leave for the draft. So you had stars such as Connor Costello, you had Donnie Walton, who's the son of pitching coach Rob Walton and was a star shortstop. You had Big 12 Pitcher of the Year Thomas Hatch, all leaving. Then, to top it all off, in the 2017 season, you had pitchers Parker Scott and Jensen Elliott out with injury, and they had to undergo Tommy John surgery. John Littell missed 9 games in 2017 with injury. And the question at the end of that season, like I said, was, will they even make the postseason? It would have been a big deal if they hadn't made the NCAA tournament, because since 2012, they have made the NCAA tournament after that. And they did manage to make it because of that Big 12 tournament victory. They earned a spot in the Big 12. Only the top 8 teams get that. And people were wondering, would they even get in that Big 12 tournament in 2017? After that kind of strange season for the Cowboys, in 2018, what are the reasons that they're having some more success now? And how is the recent Bedlam series exemplifying that? Well, first off, the Cowboys have been able to finally kind of replace some of those key players that they lost after that trip to Omaha. So as I mentioned, Donnie Walton, even at the start of this 2018 season, at Media Day, you had Josh Holliday saying that the Cowboys had really struggled to see someone fill that shortstop position in the way that 4-time All-Big 12 shortstop Donnie Walton did. 2017 season, they struggled with that, and at the start of the 2018 season, he didn't really know for sure who was going to be the consistent player at shortstop, but the question is, could we see that in Matt Kroon? Could he be the answer to that question? So, Matt Kroon is a junior transfer who played at Oregon, and then he went to Central Arizona before coming to OSU. He had a great Bedlam weekend. He had 5 hits and 2 RBIs, and he also makes key defensive plays at shortstop. During the Bedlam series, he made 8 catches at shortstop, and he had no fielding errors. And so Kroon is a guy who's really come in and been able to bring positive energy to the team ever since earlier on in the season when he hit his first home run at Alley P. And Coach Josh Holliday talked about how the guys were able to feed off Kroon's energy and enjoy that good, positive moment for him. And on the Saturday game in the Bedlam series, Matt Kroon was also the first player to reach home. So he's got good speed, he's able to score for the Cowboys, and he's really just got strengths all over the baseball diamond. It does seem that Matt Kroon is someone who can step up and bring some consistency to the shortstop position. At the start of the season, Holliday was trying out different guys at the shortstop position, but Matt Kroon was playing third base some of the time, shortstop other times, but then recently it's been more set where you've had Matt Kroon at shortstop and Michael Newstifter consistently at third base, and that lineup has worked out pretty well for the Cowboys, including, of course, during that Bedlam sweep. Besides Kroon's contributions to the team, you also have some stars in the pitching staff. So even with Parker Scott and Jensen Elliott still out with injury, the Cowboys have built up their other pitchers. One of those guys is Carson Teal. He's a junior left-handed pitcher from Stillwater. He had a pretty strong sophomore season, but he has gotten even better his junior season. This year, he's a two-time Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. One of the times he received that honor was after the Bedlam sweep, following that weekend. So he was the series opener on the mound. He started for the Cowboys on Friday, and he threw for 8 scoreless innings in OSU's 8-0 victory to begin the series. Then on Saturday, you had Joe Leonard, and he took the pitcher's mound. And Joe said that, he's got some friendly competition with Carson Teal. They're always joking with each other, saying that they're going to outdo each other. But really, Coach Holliday mentioned how Joe was able to feed off of Carson's energy and keep the strength on the pitcher's mound. So he earned the win in the Saturday game. He had good fastball command, but he also threw some sliders, changeups, had a variety of good pitches, and he threw for 4 hitless innings, allowing only 1 run in that Saturday victory for OSU. And then, of course, the Cowboys closed out the series with a Sunday victory. So they beat the Sooners 3 times in that series, and they've defeated them 4 times this season if you count the earlier non-conference matchup with them. One more standout for the Cowboys this season so far has been Carson McCusker, who is a transfer from Sparks, Nevada. He's been playing at right field pretty consistently lately. And in the Bedlam series, in the Saturday game, he hit a 3-run home run. Even though McCusker is not anywhere near Stillwater or Norman growing up, he's from Nevada, like I said, he was really buying into that Bedlam energy. He was talking after the Saturday game how nothing's better than Bedlam. He's just enjoying the series already and really getting into that rivalry. So he's another person who can kind of bring that energy to the Cowboys and get the vibe going that they need to be competitive and win. Besides having some new players and some returners who have been able to step up and kind of fill the shoes of the people the Cowboys lost after the season they went to Omaha, then you also have some of the injured players who are back and healthier. So after missing some games last season, John Littell is back at full strength. Littell, he is a senior from Stillwater. He's the son of OSU women's basketball coach Jim Littell. So he's definitely been a part of the Cowboy family all his life. And he started OSU's scoring frenzy in the game on Saturday against OU with his RBI. And he has been strong. He's gotten several hits this season. And he's really someone who is able to bring a lot to the plate for the Cowboys too, and has definitely improved this season from the last. Then you also have Ben Leeper, who's stronger after an injury. On Saturday, he pitched in the Bedlam series. He was a relief pitcher, and he gave up no runs. And then after that, Peyton Battenfield closed out the game for him. But Ben Leeper, he has endured not 1 but 2 Tommy John surgeries in his career. So he's had a lot to go through, but he's a fighter and he's back now. And it's important for the Cowboys to have him not only as a relief pitcher like they used him in the Bedlam series, but he also can be a starter. He started at Alley P in a game this season, so he is someone they can rely on if they need another guy in that starting rotation. So with all those factors coming together, the Cowboys have a 27-15-1 record right now. Yes, I said and 1 at the end. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but the Cowboys had one game that ended in a tie this season. That hadn't happened for a really long time at Alley P. It was a strange experience for all of them. The game was rain delayed. It was against Seton Hall, and it ended up being that Seton Hall had to travel, and they just had that weather delay, and they ended up just deciding to call the game and make it a tie. And then that happened, but they have the 27-15-1 record, which is a lot better than the 30-27 record they ended with last season. So they've been able to step it up. Of course, they haven't been perfect this season, but they've definitely made some improvement from last. One reason behind that, could it be the announcement for OSU's new baseball stadium? We don't know for sure if that's been fueling how they play, but I think there's no question that that's created some new positive energy surrounding the baseball program. The announcement for the construction of the new baseball stadium was officially made on March 29, 2018. Since that announcement, OSU's record has been 15-5. They've swept Big 12 opponents TCU, K-State, Kansas, and OU. And at home since that announcement, they've dropped just 2 games. So I think that's really showed the Cowboys that OSU Athletics cares about Cowboy baseball. The fans care about Cowboy baseball because they're excited about this new stadium, and it's going to offer some features to make the baseball experience even more interactive with the fans. They're going to have a glass batter's eye where they can really get a good look at what's going on in the batter's box. They're going to have a 360-degree concourse surrounding the stadium. There's a lot of cool features that the stadium's going to have, and I think it makes the Cowboys just feel valued. Like I said, makes them feel like OSU Athletics cares about baseball, and it's kind of brought that new spark of energy. So they've had a really good record since that announcement. You have players like Carson Teal Jr. this year saying that he's jealous because he's never going to get to play in that new baseball stadium. The freshmen this year will. But even players like Teal who won't have a home in that stadium, I think just the fact that OSU is investing that much in Cowboy baseball is making them feel better and have more of a positive energy. And where that puts OSU now, they have had some struggles throughout the season. They did just lose to ORU on Tuesday. It seems like ORU's home field really is the Cowboys' kryptonite. They have not won there since the 90s. So they do have a few challenges that they've had to kind of face throughout the season. But could they make it back to Omaha? While they're not the same team that they were in that 2016 run to the College World Series, they do show sparks of a resemblance to that Omaha team. No, they don't have Eutropolis this season. Eutropolis was the plastic dinosaur that they used as kind of their rally good luck object during that Omaha season. And since then, they've had so many different objects. They've had their rally bass fish. They've had a garden gnome at one point. They had a plastic Harambe gorilla. And so they've had a lot of different items. They're very quirky, superstitious like that. But right now, the Cowboys are keeping it a little more simple. They've got a simple cream-colored cowboy hat that they've been wearing. It all started with Cade Cabanis. One day he brought it to the field and said, "I have a feeling good things are going to happen today." And then the Cowboys had a really good game. He put that hat on Trevor Boone, who was a key player in that game. And since then, they've been passing around that cowboy hat to different guys who have been hitting home runs. You have Colin Simpson's worn the hat, Matt Kroon's worn the hat. A lot of different players have worn it, and that's what they're using as their good luck charm this season. So no, it's not quite as quirky as a plastic toy dinosaur, but hey, maybe it's working for them this season. You never know. And after that Bedlam series, it just really cemented the Cowboys' position at the top of the Big 12. They'd earned their way up to those standings, and then that showed that they deserved to keep it. And the Cowboy hat, they did have that during the Bedlam series. They've earned the number 17 spot in D1 baseball rankings and the number 12 spot in collegiate baseball rankings. That's the highest that a Big 12 team is in those. They've still got a few more challenges to face before they can even get to postseason play in the Big 12 tournament. Of course, that non-conference series against Iowa this weekend, and then they have yet to face Texas Tech at Allie P. Reynolds Stadium. Texas Tech is one of the opponents Josh Holliday mentioned before the season as one who will be the most competitive. Pretty tough for the Cowboys to play, but we'll see how that series goes. Anything could happen at this point, but I think there's no question that the Cowboys have been able to kind of bounce back from a little bit of a rough 2017 and have a strong 2018 season so far. I'm Hallie Hart, and this has been The Road Since Omaha.